Hey everybody, Bob Lucero here from All Things Leland. As many folks may or may not know, Brunswick County by median age is the oldest county in North Carolina. And as such, it makes things like Cape Fear Cog's Area Agency on Aging really important to help coordinate and provide services for older Americans in not only Brunswick, but in the region. And we're really fortunate to have with us today the director of the Area Agency on Aging, Holly Pilson. Holly, thanks for joining us.
Course, happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Appreciate it. I know that you all provide a whole bunch of different services. We'll work through our local governments and other providers to provide services. Just wanted to touch on a couple, and then at the end, we can share some contact information with folks if they are so interested in contacting the agency in terms of seeking assistance. And I like to start off talking about a difficult situation, but perhaps you could talk about how your agency handles it is elder abuse.
Sure. So we started a grassroots effort with a Cape Fear Elder Abuse Network probably close to 20 years ago. And there are many different people that sit on that network with us. We run from sheriff's deputies to we used to have a DA on, elder law attorneys, legal aid, of course, our senior centers and a
Mm.
representative from those, adult protective services from the Department of Social Services in each county. Lots of people sit on that group, and really our goal is to educate people, to make awareness grow across the region so that people not only don't fall for scams and frauds, but they're very aware of elder abuse in general. They would know where to report because we all are mandated reporters. If you see it, you should report it and let the authorities take on that to see if it could be substantiated or not. We have scam and fraud educations planned in Brunswick County. We have three planned just in the
Okay.
next 3 months.
Okay.
One in Calabash, one in Leland, and one in Supply.
Okay. Excellent. I mean, it's really important subject and certainly falling for scams, people with email and text and phones and everything else. Some of them are look very, very legitimate, in terms of trying to get at your banking information, etc. Another thing, that you all deal with is family caregiver support. In our own family, having parents who were elderly and ill, the caregiver needs support as well, just because from emotional and physical standpoint, it's a lot of work. So, how does the Area Agency on Aging address that issue?
Sure. So in 2001, the federal government passed the National Family Caregiver Support Program Act, which was, I think, quite amazing that they were looking at supporting caregivers to sustain them so they could continue caregiving and therefore maybe reduce placement in long-term care facilities for older adults. We provide education, information and referral, support groups. Then we also allocate some funds to our lead agencies in each county for caregiver support. That could look like respite, but it's intermittent and emergency respite, not forever respite.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a supplemental service like maybe some incontinence supplies
Right.
or nutritional supplements. But really, I find the most important piece is the caregivers supporting each other, learning from each other in support groups, meeting each other in educations, and really knowing that they're not doing it by themselves. There are so many people that are caring for a loved one. And if they can share ideas and ways to help each other, it's really beneficial.
Who is your lead agency in Brunswick County?
That's a great question. It's Brunswick Senior Resources,
Okay.
and they are a great partner with us. The Brunswick County gets to decide who the lead agency is for aging services in the county, and they have a nonprofit called Brunswick Senior Resources. And you have six senior centers across Brunswick County and two satellite nutrition sites. I mean, it's unheard of. I love that they have put so many senior centers. So no matter where you live in
Hmm.
Brunswick County, you have access to those amazing services and programs.
That's great. I'm happy to hear the county is leading in terms of providing those types of service. Another program that you all run, and I'm sure as people are getting older and living longer, Project Care, which helps families with who have loved ones with dementia.
Yeah, so Project Care is a state-funded program. I mean, how great that the state of North Carolina decided to fund a program to help caregivers of persons with a memory impairment and
Hmm.
or a dementia diagnosis. And this person actually covers a pretty good large region. We cover Brunswick, Columbus, New Hanover, and Pender counties with the Area Agency on Aging, but she covers 12 counties. So it's a
Okay.
little larger of an area. Excuse me for a moment.
Sure.
But she provides case management and
Hmm.
information referral to families in 12 counties, and she can provide a one-time respite voucher of $500.
Okay. And how are those dollars then used, Holly? I mean, is to have someone come in to help for the loved one, just to give them some time to go to the store or just take a break.
That's exactly exactly how it is. It's a
Okay.
reimbursement. It's a reimbursement, meaning the family has to pay the $500 to be reimbursed the $500, and they choose. They can choose a neighbor. They
Okay.
can choose a home care agency. Sometimes it's more affordable if you choose someone in the community and a
Sure.
home care agency. And if you already have a relationship with them, may have a relationship with your level of memory impairment, which makes it
Mhm.
much easier for you to leave them with somebody.
Yeah, that's is critically important. A long time ago, my dad was ill, and just having the ability for my mom to step out and get away from the situation, just for her own mental health break, is critically important. And then another issue that you all work on is regional long-term care ombudsman. And what is that, and how does that work?
Sure. The long-term care ombudsman program is so important. They are literally an advocate for persons living in long-term care facilities. Their only client is the resident. So if people have concerns about something going on with a resident in a long-term care facility, they can make or reach out to the long-term care ombudsman.
Hmm.
We do not have regulatory over
Sure.
facilities, but they are amazing mediators and advocates.
Okay.
And it's awesome how they can sometimes rectify a situation without it having to be put to the next level of reporting it to the regulatory agency.
Okay.
Because everyone living in a long-term care facility has the same rights as you and I.
Sure.
Their residence rights, that's where they live, that's their home. And we have two great ones in the region. Jeff Brunswick and Holly Blackwell are our long-term care ombudsman.
Hmm.
And we have a little over 50 facilities, and they split the bed count, and they both have over 2,000 beds that they cover
Wow.
within the.
Sometimes it's nice to have that neutral arbitrator to step in and say, what's happening here? What's happening here? And so it doesn't escalate itself. And what you want at the end of the day is to resolve the problem.
You want the resident to be happy. That's
Yes.
exactly. And the facilities want that too. And so you'd be amazed at how much they are happy to work with the long-term care ombudsman to kind of mediate any issues that come along.
You know, one of the interesting things about your organization, COG, is that my previous job before retiring was running a similar organization, coordinating services for local governments in a whole bunch of different areas. And what I found fascinating and really good news is your home care block grant program, where you work with our local governments to help provide a variety of services like Meals on Wheels and everything else.
We do. So the Home Community Care Block Grant is part of the Older Americans Act. And those funds are granted on a funding formula across the United States to each state. And then within the state, they are granted to each region and county. And for Brunswick County, of course, it goes to Brunswick Senior Resources, and they provide information and options counseling. They contract out for transportation. They do congregate meals at each one of those senior
Mhm.
centers. And they, in a lot of senior centers, they prepare the meals on site, which
Okay.
is really nice. They're not bringing the meals in from elsewhere. They do home delivered meals, which is what the Home Community Care Block Grant calls their home delivered meal program. In-home aid services. They'll contract out for some adult day services sometimes. They do all the senior center operations and planning. Um, and then they provide the caregiver respite we talked about
Okay.
earlier.
Okay. That's great. Um, this is a lot of information. I know that you have a slide with the services and contact information. If you could share that screen, that would be great.
There's all of our staff with the Area Agency on Aging. We'd be happy to help anyone.
Thank you very much, Holly. And I will be posting this video along with important links on the blog. I appreciate your taking the time. These are important services. Again, Brunswick County by median age is the oldest county in North Carolina. And I was looking at some data, which I'll share on the blog, but Onslow County, which is just up the block, is the youngest. So look at that, you
Mhm.
know.
And I wonder if it's because that's a military area.
I think so too, but I mean it's pretty incredible. Anyway, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and keep up the great work.
Thanks for having me. Nice to see you.
You're welcome.